Hello, unlikely finisher. How are you feeling? It's been almost 2 months since your last Ironman. What have you been up to since then?
So obviously the last Ironman was South Africa, PE, super tough, hardly any training, and I made a promise to myself that I wouldn't put myself into that same position again, that I would train. And the great news is that I lied, and I'm in the same position again going into the next three races. Not from laziness, not from laziness. I didn't take leave last year, so I went away to Malawi. Then I was on a work trip to Barcelona. I've been traveling for work up and down. It's been hectic, but I have cycled a lot more than normal. And last time I swam a total of 3 kilometers in training for Ironman PE, and this time I'm up at 4 already. So that's a 125% improvement.
In one sentence, can you describe the unlikely finisher?
Sure. Doing difficult things even when you're not ready.
Okay, on a more serious note, why have you set yourself this insane goal of 3 Ironmans, 3 weekends in a row? What has inspired this and what sparked this absolutely crazy mission?
So why 3 Ironman, 3 weekends in a row? When I got into triathlon, the first Ironman got cancelled in Port Elizabeth because of COVID, and I lost my mind a little bit and went from my first Ironman ready race week. It got cancelled, and then I didn't train for a year and a half, and it took me a really long path to get back to do my first one in 2022. And just after COVID, I'd read of a lady who'd done 12 Ironman, and she got to go to Kona, Hawaii, based on a legacy program that they have if you do 12 Ironman. And I was really inspired by that. And I thought I'd love to go to Kona, Hawaii. I'm never going to win a race. I'm never going to be an age group athlete. I'm never going to train that hard and sacrifice that much because I have so much in my life. And I just thought, okay, cool. I want to try to do 12 Ironman before I turn 50. And the year I turn 50, I would love to be a part of that legacy program and go race at the spiritual home of triathlon Ironman in Hawaii. So I'm 48. I've managed to do 6 fulls and a whole lot of half distances between since 2022. So I have to get 6 done as quickly as possible. So this year I started with PE, and coming from South Africa, uh, the rand is not as strong as the euro and the pound, and so every time you want to go do a full Ironman, you've got to go overseas to do it because there's only one here a year. So I decided if I could do 3 in one go, I could save some money, but also it was a super cool challenge to see what's possible and what's doable. I'm a huge fan of the Iron Cowboy. In fact, I just finished his new book of what's humanly possible, and I think it's more than doable to do 3 in a row. I don't know if it's doable to do 3 in a row if you've only trained the kind of distances I have. But I think Ironman in anything difficult is mental, and you put one foot in front of the other. So I'm pretty confident the first one is going to go well. I'm confident that the second one, I'll I'll make the run. The third one, I think, is going to be the really scary and intimidating one. So yeah, that's the reason I decided to do 3. I'm actually just trying to get 12 done before I'm 50, and this was the only way to kind of get it done in such a short period of time.
Awesome. Can you let us know where you'll be going and how you'll be traveling for this?
Cool. So it's really fun and exciting. So, like I've said previously, training is on the bottom of my list, but very high on my list is adventure, fun, and my wife. And so, what we're going to do is we've hired a camper van, which we're going to pick up in Austria. We're going to climb in there. We're going to drive to Wolfsburg. I think it's called, from Gens. It's about an hour and a half's drive. We're going to camp there, arrive on the Tuesday, and race on the Sunday. And then we're going to take the camper van and drive, I don't know how many thousands of kilometers it is, but it's quite a few days that we're going to drive to the west coast of France, to a place called La Sebos, I think it's called. And we'll do the race on the Sunday there. And then climb back into the camper van and drive back to Frankfurt, Germany, and go race there, which is going to be it's one of the biggest races on the calendar. It's the European Championship. You get to see all the top athletes. And the coolest tradition in Ironman is if you come in kind of at the end, the winner of the race gives you your medal. So I always get a medal from like one of the Ironman champions, which is also always super cool to be in their presence.
How is your training going for this? What has your typical day in the past 3 weeks looked like? Because obviously this is a big challenge you've set up for yourself. How are you managing to train for this?
So how did I manage to train for this? After the swim in PE, I came out of the water and Debbie was standing on, my wife was standing on the other side of the fence, and I said, "Don't you ever let me not train ever again," because it was a really tough swim. And just life just gets in the way. So my typical day, I get up 4:30 in the morning, and I'll normally start working. I find it very hard to train when I've got work to do. So I'll start working 4:30 in the morning. I'll go to work, and then hopefully at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I'll try and get in some form of a session. The problem with training in the afternoon is it's very easy to tap out of that. So I'm most probably training 2 days a week, 45 minutes a day. 3 months, 2 months has just been a lot of travel from work point of view, and then also from a personal life point of view. So the training hasn't been great, but it's been greater than what it was from October to March. So I'm feeling good.
So the challenge you set up for yourself begins within the next 2 to 3 weeks from now. What does your next 2 to 3 weeks look like before you begin this challenge? What will you be doing?
We fly out to Austria on the 9th of June. It's the 22nd of May today. So what we're going to be doing is 2 days time. I'm doing a ride for charity where we raise a lot of money for the Invest Changing Lives Foundation. We have 10 riders who participate for the communities in which we serve. It's been absolutely amazing. We do it intermittently. It's about 750 kilometers, 7,500 meters of climb. We do it over 5 days. It's a really tough ride. And it's winter in Johannesburg, so it's snowing in the Drakensberg, so it's going to be interesting. So we do that and arrive in Durban on Wednesday, and then on Sunday, it just so lined up that there's a 70.3 Ironman Durban, so I've signed up for that. So I'll finish the cycle on that Sunday. I'm going to do the half Ironman. I just thought on a whim to do it. So, and it's good training. And then I'm in Durban for that following week where it'll just be recovery and then Monday fly out to Austria. So the big thing for the next 3 weeks is to not get flu.
Has anyone ever told you you're insane?
Has anyone ever told me I'm insane? Yeah, but that was from when I was like 9 years old with hyperactive disorder. So
What is your mental state going into this challenge that you set up for yourself? How are you feeling?
So I'm a bit of a hypochondriac. So Debbie's got to pull me aside and say, "Hey, it's race weeks. Like we're starting on Saturday." So I'll always start thinking, "Oh, I went for malaria test on Tuesday because we've been in Malawi for 10 days." And so I do get a bit hypochondriac. My anxiety only shows up in thinking, "Oh, I've got a scratchy throat or something," and Debbie always just calms me down. But I'm excited. Like I have no fear or worry about finishing because that's not the job. The job is to get to the start line and to see what happens. So I'm actually super excited. It will be what it'll be. I don't expect things to be perfect. I want them to be hard. I want them to be difficult. And what I am really, really, really not stressed about, but conscious of is me and my wife driving across Europe on the wrong side of the road because both of us are not very good drivers and both of us are not very good passengers. So this is either going to be our bonding experience of a lifetime for our 10-year anniversary, or it's going to be I won't have an Ironman supporter anymore after this. I'm joking. She'll be.
Can you please tell the audience how they can track you and keep updated throughout this journey?
So I'm going to be sharing with my family and friends and anybody else who's interested the whole journey, including the camper van, on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Yeah. So if you want a good laugh, check it out.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.